Hello, my name is ABA Pickle, and if you clicked on this video, you're new to Second Extinction, and you need some tips and tricks on how to play the game. So today I'm going to be going over how to play Second Extinction and some tips I have for some new players. So first of all, I have a bunch of videos already up about Second Extinction, going over every single weapon, the builds, and characters. So we're not really going to go about that. Today we're just going to go over some tips in the part 1 of 2 series. We're going to have 2 parts to this. Part 1 is going to be some tips for solo, and part 2 is going to be recommended builds for, groups. So, for solo, I recommend going with Jurgen or Rosie. Become acquainted with their abilities. To quickly go over it, Jurgen, stealthy boy with C4. Rosie, tanky girl that gives you thumbs up for band-aids. When it comes to weapons for both, Jurgen, I recommend bringing the assault rifle. And you'll only be able to take the pistol for your secondary. And for Rosie, I recommend the minigun and the pistol. So, getting in here pretty quickly to a free roam. Right now, this is just a mess. Right now, this normally isn't like this. So, what this means is, to give you an idea, there's a threat level for each area based on how the community gives attention to that area. And because a lot of people haven't been playing recently because there's not an update for a little while, there's a lot of emergency events at the moment. So, it's always good to know that the threat level will reset after those are done. So, we're just going to hop into, goddamn, the fucking news. A little quick thing. We're going to choose our girl Rosie. When it comes to equipment, real quick, you might be tempted to bring a frag grenade, but don't. When you are alone, bring the ammo kit and equipment drop. The ammo kit will refill your ammo entirely. You get 6 of those. That will take up your equipment slot. For the drop, bring the equipment drop because it'll refill your ammo kits. You will never run out of ammo with this build. And trust me, when you have a minigun and a pistol, you are always hurting for ammo. This will solve that issue entirely. So, and when it comes to augments, don't worry about it. And you can only ever choose the health stem. So, we get into that real quick. And we spawn in Tenias Harbor. I don't know how to pronounce that. Couple of quick tips. 1, when it comes to fighting a horde of raptors or big dinos, try to stay away from them as much as you can. Right now, with me playing Rosie, you might think it's weird. I'm the tanky girl that has a healing ability. It might be tempting to just let them lay into you and use the ability, but the ability is on a pretty long cooldown, especially if you aren't killing a lot of things or dealing a lot of damage, because that's how they refill. So just think of it this way. Her passive refills the health bar, any unbroken bars of health. So you see how I have those 5 bars right there with the armored bar at the beginning? If one does not break, say it's even at a sliver of being full, her ability will refill that for you. So it is important to know that any damage is bad damage. So first things first, I'm just going to get a good old... Oh, hello. Let's take out that boy right here. So take him out first. It's always important to know that when it comes to targeting, I'm going to go over this first here. When in a combat with enemies, it's always important to, target things, take out the high priorities, right? Well, the high priorities for Second Extinction, 1, Alpha Raptors. Alpha Raptors will give out this call that enrages enemies around you. And what it does is it makes them attack faster, and it'll cause them to attack more frequently as well. So it's something just overall might not seem like that big of a deal when it comes to like small dinos like raptors, which it's not. But when you have something like a T-Rex and it's moving faster and it's almost impossible to dodge, it becomes a bit of a problem. So once the Alpha Raptor dies, they die. So speaking of T-Rexes, the number one thing I will tell them is you're going to get hit by them and they're going to stun you. But they don't do a ton of damage. So my biggest tip, and it's one of the best tips I've ever given for T-Rex fights, honestly, isolate the T-Rex. They will spawn in other raptors. They'll call in other reinforcements. take care of those first. The high damage dealing dinos are the flatbacks, the bulls, and like the mass amount of raptors that will come in. So they will stun you while everything else hits you while you're on the ground. And that is how the T-Rex is one of the most dangerous things in the game. So as long as you can quickly dispatch everything around him, which is easier to say than it is to do, but try your best to not focus the T-Rex and just straight up focus everything else. Isolate it. And always remember, try to dash away from every single amount of damage that you can. You'll get hit, and that's okay. But just, focus on trying to, manage your spacing. If you see a raptor lunging at you, you can use your melee. Look what the melee does. Pop. It will kill. It deals a decent amount of damage. And it also can stun basic raptors. Sometimes even alpha raptors. Now, everything else I highly recommend not using your melee on. Just use it on basic raptors or stuff like that. Other than that, though, the melee is pretty good. It's good for that little bit of, if a mass amount of raptors are getting too close. Just sprint at them, punch them. It will hit multiple enemies, so it will stun them. When it comes to flatbacks, those are the biggest enemy in the game that I would say would be the biggest dick thing in the game. The thing that I hate the most. The bane of my second extinction existence. Tips I have for that. 1. You're going to get hit by it. There's no escaping it. Those things have broken tracking, and I honestly wish they would fix them. But the Beyblades of Death have one weakness. Explosions. Now, you might be saying, hey, but ABA Pickle, you're playing Rosie, who doesn't have any explosions with a minigun and pistol. You are correct. Rosie has access to this ability right here, which I highly recommend you make as good a use of. It will stun enemies. It'll crowd control them. When a flatback touches one of those things, you guessed it, it starts the flipping process. Either it will send them completely flipped over if they're in the center of it, or 2, it'll get them to the point where you could shoot them and start the tipping, or completely tip them over. When it comes to Jurgen, he has a C4, which you can throw on the big fat boy, and it will flip him over as well. And then when it comes to bulls, just dodge out of the way, shoot them in the sides, don't shoot them in their armored face. It's kind of like a shield thing, That's just a basic thing. The bulls aren't really that big of an issue. They'll stun you, but they mainly deal more damage than stun. They'll be a little annoying, but nowhere near like the flatbacks or T-Rexes. But when it comes to priority, I said that the Alpha Raptor is first. Second, I would go after flatbacks. They will knock you down so much if you just leave them alone, and they do really good damage against you. So prioritize Alpha Raptor, flatback, bull, types of raptors. After that, and if we're going even into there, I would say that definitely prioritize like the stun raptor, then after that the acid raptor, and then the basic raptor. But then below all the raptors, I even say the T-Rex, because like I said before, you want to isolate that thing before you fight it. And even if you're in the middle of fighting it, just keep it in your periphery, dodge away from it, and just shoot the raptors to the side. It's so much easier when you isolate the T-Rex. But those are kind of some basic little tips. And if you are an experienced Second Extinction player watching this video, first of all, thank you. It means a lot to me. Second of all, if you have any tips that you don't see me go over, please let me know in the comments below. I'm definitely just here to help new players out, and if I forget something, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, and I don't remember everything. Also, these bastards right here, little fucking narcs, that's what they are. They're called watchers. They will call in reinforcements, and they're just super annoying. Basically, they're the people that said, "Mom," or "I want to speak to your manager," and then everyone comes around just trying to make you speak to. Anyway, I'm rambling on stupid shit. Back to the helping new players. And also when it comes to new players, if you guys are watching this video, first of all, thank you as well. I appreciate every single viewer, and I love you very much. 2, if there's something specific that I don't go over and I haven't covered in one of my videos, feel free to ask. I will always answer either just in a comment or 2 in a video for more extensive answer. I like to think I'm pretty good at this game. I've been playing this game more than the average person, and yeah, So if you got a question, I can definitely answer it. And if I can't, I will figure out the answer before I get back to you. So yeah, earlier you saw me shoot down that little drone. That drone will mark every single mission in the area. So if there's specific things you need to do for a challenge, like the supply containers or activating radar relays or destroying a holo, that is where you can kind of figure out where you need to go. And that's also a really helpful thing. Once you hit level 5, I think it is, you unlock the contracts. Do those. They're little small missions, not really significant challenges in any of them, unless you like they're the broken ones that just don't work. Yeah. So I think overall that covers my tips and tricks for Second Extinction for solo players. Just keep moving around, focus those alpha raptors, flatbacks, bulls, every type of raptor that we went over, and then the T-Rex at the end. Overall, I think that you are going to, if you follow these rules, you'll have a much easier time than just trying to shoot whatever you do, and, you know, playing as most players do when they first get into the game. So I hope you found this video very informative, and if there's anything I forgot, like I said, please let me know down in the comments below. But until then, my name is ABA Pickle. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!